got something to talk about right now.
Gleb Pugachyov. Name I was familiar with, but I'll admit, not somebody that I did a whole lot of digging about. This draft was something. I can't say they learned a lot of lessons from last year.
Los Angeles, you're on the clock.
I'm tired, but I want to do a video, so let's talk about it.
One more Neutrogena tantrum out of you and you're getting the gate, bud. Try me.
So that was a good way to blow through 4 hours. All jokes aside, I kind of like it. I don't know what it is. There's a vibe to it. It's not as if it's like wholesome, but it's kind of like that. I don't know. Maybe cozy is the right way to describe it. It's like a bunch of elderly theater kids got together and they wanted to do a TV production and they wanted to seem hip and cool, but they can't really quite swing it. They don't really pull it off. And there's a bunch of technical glitches. So yeah, it turns into one big debacle. I got to watch my time though, because I can talk all night and I have things to do tomorrow. So let's get through this. So after trading up from the 28th to the 26th spot, the Montreal Canadiens selected Russian winger Gleb Pugachyov. So before tonight, well, you know, on my time off or just mucking around, I went through a lot of scouting reports, listened to analysts who watched a lot more than I have to get a better idea of, you know, who these draftees are. And Pugachyov was part of that learning. And I think I understand why they traded up. And first of all, it's worth mentioning Montreal didn't just sit back and hope he'd still be there. They gave a 2027 third round pick in addition to move up 2 spots. Third round pick's not nothing. It's a real asset. So clearly someone in the draft room believed another team was about to take him. And Montreal decided it was worth paying a relatively small price to eliminate that risk. And we've seen that before with this management group, with Zurovsky. And initially I thought probably, you know, Nick Barbarov was the one that was identifying this. But according to Kent Hughes, it sounds like it was Martin Lapointe who was too afraid that he might go before they get to him. So who exactly is Gleb? Well, he's an 18-year-old Russian winger, around 6'3", just over 200 pounds, although that might be disputed. Kent Hughes also made a comment about how the measurements and weight tallies in the Russian leagues aren't always the most accurate. He shoots right. He's already had some time in the KHL. He plays in the MHL. Now he played 13 games in the KHL just this past season. I wonder how much time he had on ice during those games, because it doesn't look like he was out of place, but I wonder maybe he was even better than what he looks like on the stat sheets. 2 goals and 1 assist for Torpedo in 13 games. You know, an 18-year-old, that's not something you see every year. Somebody jumping into the KHL and producing, playing against men. So I think that's pretty good. That's a good sign. But maybe that all just kind of falls by the wayside, because the one thing that keeps coming up, if you look at his scouting reports, is his physicality. Every scout seems to mention it. And Jeff Marek described him as potentially the biggest hitter in the entire draft class.
Gleb Pugachyov loves to hit and does it often. Not only does he do it often, he also does it well. He's a 6'3" hit machine, just a menace out there with the body.
And not just because he's big, apparently he actively looks for contact. He's constantly finishing his checks. He's separating players from the puck. He's creating turnovers through physical pressure. And apparently he's been doing exactly that in the KHL against grown men. There wasn't some sort of a long adjustment period for him to figure out how to play against bigger players. 13 games he had it figured out apparently. So to me, that speaks of his confidence. He stepped into that league and immediately started playing his game. That caught my attention. I like that. So the thing that surprised me maybe the most is you hear 6'3" power forward. Sometimes you assume that there's going to be weaknesses and you think it's the skating, but apparently not in this situation. Several scouts described him as a really good skater for his size. Maybe not elite, but definitely above average. And honestly, that's probably why his physical game works so well. Anybody can want to throw a big hit. Actually getting there before the puck leaves the stick, that's when the skating really matters. His speed allows him to pressure defenders and finish those checks consistently. Offensively, this is where opinions start to split. Some scouts think that there's enough skill there to become a really effective middle six power winger. Others aren't as convinced. Common criticism seems to be that his hands and offensive creativity aren't quite on the same level as the rest of his game. And because of that, some project him to be more of a high energy fourth line player who changes the momentum through forecheck, physicality, rather than putting up huge offensive numbers. Personally, I'm okay with hearing that because I don't think every first round pick has to become a 70-point player. Plus, that type of game takes a while to develop. Also, it's very early. He's played 13 high pro games. So there might be another opportunity for him to break through and show his game a little bit better in the KHL. The one thing I noticed while reading through everything is almost nobody questions his compete level, whether they love the offensive upside or whether they were skeptical of it. Everyone seemed to agree that this kid works hard. He competes, he plays hard, he finishes checks, he hunts pucks, he doesn't cheat, he plays the right game. And that's been something that I know the Canadiens have focused on and that they appreciate. So this feels like another piece of the puzzle that Montreal can build on. You know, they have Demidov, Zarovsky, Hage. This guy's different from those individuals. Big, heavy, physical, hard to play against. Another layer to the prospect pool, I think. I still need to learn more about him. I kind of hate that I have to do this video, but I wanted to talk about it and see what you guys have to say too. So if you have any insights, let me know down in the comments. Also, I want to mention, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, help me out. We're really close to 27,000 subscribers. Let's try to get there. Everyone else, like the video. Let's try to beat our record. I don't know what it is. Didn't we hit like 1,800 likes at one point? So overall, I really like the process here. The Canadiens identified somebody that they believed in. Obviously, they moved up to get him. And I really don't feel like this is a wasted pick, although there's been criticism about this draft class, especially in the higher first round or the lower first. What do we say? I guess lower numbers means, 1, 2, 3. Higher numbers means the later part of the round.
Stop it. Get some help.
In the lower numbers, a lot of those picks were available, right? They were getting traded around. They were getting tossed around. Hughes made a comment about how that kind of devalued their pick. So if they were looking to trade that pick today, it wasn't catching a lot of interest. But it seems like things in Columbus is taking a turn. So I'm still hoping that Marchenko thread could be pulled at. Oh no, and breaking news, Seth Jarvis had shoulder surgery, 4 to 6 months recovery. He'll miss the start of the season. But yeah, I'm really hoping that Kent can put that Marchenko trade over the line with Columbus, because it does sound like Werenski is, he's not going to be interested in re-signing. It's starting to fall apart in Columbus. Let's see what they can do to salvage that. They were talking about a change in the locker room. This definitely urges that on. Apparently, Utah is also available in Marchenko. I hope that doesn't create a bidding war. But to wrap things up and talk a little bit more about the draft, I like what the Canadiens did. They didn't overpay to move up in the draft. They added a player who fills a different role. So now you just have to let him bake at 350 in the oven and see what happens when, what's next? Does he develop really strong in the KHL? Does he get flown over and go to the AHL and develop there? It's expected that he spends more time before making the jump to North America, so it isn't somebody that you're going to be seeing in a Canadian sweater anytime soon. But first impressions are good. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments. And I'm headed to bed. You guys know what to do. Like the video. It helps me out with search results or something like that. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.